Hello and welcome. Today we'll be configuring Active Directory with DHCP. So this will be part of a bigger lab where we deploy and delegate different services and features to different servers on the same network. Alright, so enough chit chat, let's get to work. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to want to configure our server to have the following. The host name is going to be called WoDC01. The IP address on the second adapter will be 10.0.0.5. And the default gateway we'll set that to, in my case, will be 10.0.0.1. So let's go to it. So we're going to go to our network adapter. So we're going to find it. And if you take a look here, you can see that I have two network adapters. Now I've named each of them different things. So the NAT network was the one that is connected to my computer. And the LAN is the actual just a sort of internal adapter. So we're going to want to go to properties on the LAN. And we're going to want to change our IPv4 address. So let's go here and we're going to configure it with the following. 10.0.0.5. And the default gateway, as I promised, would be 10.0.0.1. The gateway, the DNS, should also be itself, so 10.0.0.5. Alright, so that's great, that's set up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our server manager. I have mine open already, and we'll go to local server. In here, I can see that the computer name is still not changed. So as I mentioned before, I really want it to be WoDC01. So I'm going to do that right now. So WoDC01, and it's going to require me to restart the computer. So just let it load here, and perfect. That's done. Now it's good practice to do it right away, so I'm going to restart it right now. Perfect. So we're back inside. Now I'm just going to let everything load up again. And if we take a look here at our server manager, under the local server, we can see that our computer name has in fact changed to WoDC01. So now that that's configured properly, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to install some features and services to our computers. So in this case, we're going to be installing the Active Directory and the DHCP. So we'll click on Add Roles and Features. Then we'll click these, we'll skip all of the installation type and server selection since there's only one server. And we're going to double click Active Directory Domain Services. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to also add DHCP server. Alright, perfect. So I just keep going to keep clicking next until it gets to the install page. And we'll just click install. Now I'm going to just speed this part up a bit because this is a bit boring and it's pointless to see something install. So with the power of magic, I will be fast forwarding this video. Perfect. So now that it's finished, I'm just going to close that off, go to the task section, and if you take a look here, it says there's an option to promote this server to a domain controller. So we'll click that. So we'll just add a new forest here. And the root domain name I'm going to give it is wosun.com. Perfect. So just going to let that go through. Now this is often a long process regardless of how fast your hard drive or just generally computer is. It roughly takes about 10 minutes regardless. So we're just going to enter the password here. In my case, it's password01, password01. And if you take a look up here, you can see there's two options, forest function level and domain function level. This is just so that in case you had like maybe another server that you wanted to connect to, you could have it running at the function level of that server instead of 2016. This would be for more compatibility issues, but since I don't really see any point of using any of the old servers. We're just going to stick with 2016. That's fine. So we'll just keep clicking next. And we'll just leave everything default. Less of a headache. Again, I'm just going to fast forward it a bit because it is a little bit boring. You essentially just keep clicking next. Okay, once we get to the review page, there'll be an option here that says View Script. I recommend saving the script to the desktop because it's a PowerShell script and you can easily just paste this into PowerShell and it'll replicate the server a lot easier. It'll just do it because it's PowerShell. So we'll just save this to the desktop as ADAS server script. Perfect. Alright, we're just going to close that off, and again, you just keep clicking next. And I'm going to just fast forward for the rest of the installation. Okay, so it's finished. And it says our Active Directory service is going to be so it's just going to basically kick me out and I'll have to log back in. This is how you know that Active Directory has been configured properly. So just gonna pause here. Alright, so we're back here. Now if you take a look, it says wosun/administrator. So this is how we know that we are in the wosun domain and the user is called administrator that we're logging into. So let's just put in our password. And we should be able to log back in smoothly. Hopefully this all works out. Okay, and it seems to have gone through, so we are back on the server. So the next steps are going to be to install the DHCP. Now all this does pretty much is just provide IPs to other computers, but interestingly enough, the DHCP is very crucial in terms of sort of having an Active Directory. Because suppose you want to be able to tell all the other computers to connect to you in a certain particular way. Additionally, for the rest of the services and features we'll be installing on other servers, DHCP is critical to have it installed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our little task notification here. It hasn't fully loaded yet. Alright, so that took a little bit longer than I expected. But we are back. So finally, let's configure the DHCP configuration. So we'll click task here and complete the DHCP configuration. All we're essentially doing is we're committing this server to be the, to authorizing this server to be to hand out IPs. So just click commit and close. That's it. It's not that complicated. Alright, the next thing to do is to go to tools and DHCP. Now I'm just going to extend this up a bit. Perfect. So if you take a look here, you can see that we have our computer. So we just want to click on the IPv4 and then we want to right click it and we want to make a new scope. So we just click next. The name, it doesn't matter. You can name it anything. In this case, I'll call it wosun DHCP. And I'll just click next. And now the start IP addresses. Now, for my case, I'm going to have it so that it's giving internal IP addresses. So 10.0.0. And we'll start at 15 and we'll end at 20. So 10.0.0.20. Now, it's only 5 IPs. It is a bit of a waste, but it's just a lab environment. We won't add any exclusions because we have so many IPs that it doesn't really matter. Also, it just creates more headache. And we'll have the least duration for 1 day. Now it's going to ask us to configure the DHCP options. So this is the most important part from configuring DHCP because you could tell it to do certain things. So we'll do next. The default gateway will be 10.0.0.1. And we'll just add it. And the server name, we'll do our own thing. So we'll enter our computer name and it should resolve properly. This is a way to also test if the Active Directory and everything else was set up properly. So just click next. We won't be using wins and we'll activate it now. So that is everything for today. Everything has been set up so far. The last thing we'll do is add a user to the domain. So what we'll do is we'll go to Tools. We'll go to Active Directories, Users and Computers. And you can see right here we have our little manager. So just extend that. Alright, so if we go to our computer, our server right here, wilson.com, our domain, and we click users, we can add new users here. So we'll click new user, and we'll say in the first guy Adam, and we'll name him Smith, and it's Adam at wilson.com, and his password 01, password 01. Doesn't need to change his password, and we'll just enter these two things. Perfect, so he's added. And we'll also go ahead and add in one more user. We'll call him Wilson and Ray. The user logon name will be Wilson, and again password 01, password 01. Perfect. Oops. Perfect. So I'm just going to promote Adam to be a member of the domain admin. So domain admin. And we'll leave him at that. And we'll make Wilson the enterprise admin. And we'll go ahead and add him to domain admin as well, because I like that guy. He's the best worker I got. Perfect. So that's about everything for today. We've set up users, we created a new Active Directory, and we also set up a DHCP server on our main computer. So that's everything for today's lab. Tune in for next time, and I'll see you then. Bye.